And Georgia meet for the SEC title in Atlanta. Bulldogs open as a 1.5 favorite. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make, you want to get into Woody Anderson Ford, where their expert service technicians will get it diagnosed and repaired right away, the right way. And while you are there, check out all the new and pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson as well. They are ready to make you the best deal possible. Visit Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woody Anderson Ford on Jordan Lane in Huntsville, Hughes Road in Madison, and online at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Talking Ball with Scott Tyson and Drew DeArmond. Weekday mornings beginning at 7 a.m. only on 97.7 ESPN and the 97.7 ESPN The Zone app. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Hello and welcome in to the first episode of the Blitz in December 2025. John Abraham, Joe Hunk here with you guys on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, as well as ESPN Winchester and WZZN TV. I hope you guys had a very, very fun and safe Thanksgiving break. If you had a break, if not, we appreciate you guys for sticking to work and making sure this country keeps rolling.
God bless America, John.
No, God bless America, Joe.
Mean, let's be
patriotic
about this.
Come on now. And now Christmas is just around the corner. And guess what? We've got our listener Christmas party coming up on the 15th.
Yeah,
so
we
look
just
forward
found
to
out
that.
about this.
Joe just found out about that. I knew about it for a few days, but of course haven't been on the airways, haven't been able to tell you guys, and now I officially know, and we'll have posts out with more information on that. But we will be over at Field Day. Looking very much forward to it because, Joe, I don't know if you knew this, but I got to go to Field Day before it was even open. And let me just say, I had a lot of fun. And then I went a few weeks later, I think it was at Auburn, Oklahoma week, and got to see a lot of sad Auburn fans. And that
was the norm during that time.
Yeah. It continues into this week, but I think they're a little bit more hopeful. As, of course, Auburn finds a new head coach, as well as keeps it close against the Crimson Tide in the Iron Bowl. But I want to know if you are happy about what's going around the Plains. 256-576-97.7 is the number to get into the show. But Alabama does get the win, 27-20. For the Alabama fans out there, you guys had to bite your nails a little bit longer until you were said to be in the SEC championship. But all of that being considered, after a very, very fun game where you were up and down and all over the place in the Plains, you come out victorious, and now you look towards Atlanta, and you got to play the Georgia Bulldogs. And let me just tell you this, Joe, I don't know at this point if Alabama could beat the Georgia Bulldogs. And the only reason I say that is the play has been a little bit suspect as of lately. I get it. Alabama's still won a lot of these games against a lot of high-ranked opponents, as well as just competitive teams within the SEC. But the way Georgia has been going about it has just been very steady all season long. And the only reason they lost to Alabama at home earlier in the season was pretty much because of a drop pass that was pretty much in the end zone. So at this point, a little bit of back and forth, not 100% sure on, how comfortable we should be feeling about it. Because then again, you also have to think about the College Football Playoff Committee, how they're going to try and evaluate Alabama at that 10 spot, and if they're even going to be at that 10 spot going into tomorrow's polls. Will they go up a little bit? Will they fall back? I don't think they'll fall back. If anything, they'll stay stagnant at 10. But if the bowl game goes the way of the Georgia Bulldogs, where might the Crimson Tide fall? That is the main concern going into this week, as well as, of course, all of the head coaching changes and possible head coaching changes, as we're still looking at Florida with a asterisk around their name. But, Joe, how was your Thanksgiving, my friend?
Very long, as a matter of fact, because I was one of those people that did not really get a Thanksgiving holiday.
Oh.
Steve, Scott, myself, we were all kind of busy the entire time. I did have Thursday and Friday that I'd made sure to focus on
Nice.
On family, but then, things happen like they always happen, and I got sick. So, and then I went to my what I can probably say, if I'm obviously a man of faith, and I believe I know where I am going the very moment that I pass away. But if I were to somehow end up in hell, I am 100% sure that I know now what my personal hell would look like.
Jeez.
Because I was there in Thanksgiving.
Where'd this story go?
No, it did. Yeah, you take one phone call, man. You didn't know what you were coming back to in that, because look, the place that our family did Thanksgiving this year was absolutely beautiful. The farm was amazing. The house was beautiful. And actually the barn that we celebrated in was absolutely beautiful.
Nice.
On the outside. On the inside, I will tell you the things that this house is, and I don't even know whose house it was. I just know it was one of my wife's cousins. That's all I'm going to do. So we go to the house, we walk in. It has massive televisions everywhere.
Awesome.
It has a basketball court.
Oh my gosh.
Inside. Now,
this is perfect,
exactly.
Joe.
Oh, it's beautiful. First thing I see when I walk in is something that would make. I honestly believe that if Drew DeArmond could live in this house, he possibly could, because right when I walk in, there was nothing but Smokey and the Bandit trailer posters and movie posters everywhere. There were a ton of those just looking around, and I'm just going, oh, this place is absolutely magnificent. But then I started turning around, and those scenes in the movies where you start turning around in circles and the room starts spinning?
Yeah.
5% of the wall was covered by Smokey and the Bandit and Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, I love it.
The other 95% of the walls were covered in nothing but Alabama stuff.
Oh, wow.
I mean, when I say nothing, I don't think there was an entire inch of the walls inside of this barn that was not covered in anything Alabama. I'm talking about Bear Bryant, Nick Saban. I'm talking about posters. I'm talking banners. Look, this house in this barn, okay, I'm telling you, it had, I don't know how he got this. It had a banner from the 2011 national championship game between Alabama and LSU that looked like the bunting that was on the side of the Superdome as the game was being played. There were banners, actual national championship banners that were hanging from the ceiling and everywhere. If this had not been covered in Alabama stuff, it would have been the most beautiful and a magnificent man cave that I have ever seen, that I honestly would have told my wife, bury me here.
Sounds pretty perfect to me,
This is
actually.
exactly what it would have been. I should have taken, I don't even know if I took pictures.
Why didn't you take any pictures? I mean, what's up with that?
Well, just because I meant to take pictures. I actually meant to take a picture and send this to you guys in the group chat, but then I said, you know what? Today is about family. We're going to focus on family.
You must have not got reception from hell.
So no, I even had Wi-Fi. I had everything. Like this was seriously.
Look, this sounds like heaven to me. And I know a lot of people had their own Alabama or Auburn watch parties. John actually goes, and he's a Tennessee fan. Also, sorry about your loss, Tennessee fans listening up in ESPN Winchester. Not a good game. But he actually went to an Alabama watch party, and I don't know if it was a hell to him, but for a little bit he was saying "Roll Tide," so I'm gonna think that maybe he's just some homer or whatever.
Look, everything about the farm, the house was absolutely magnificent. The barn itself was beautiful. The setup inside between where the TVs were and where we had the whole setup going, I almost wanted to just move the tables and play a game of basketball. Like you absolutely could do that. It was so beautiful. Outside of every inch of it was covered in Alabama stuff. I mean, every inch. Like I'm talking about stuff from like the 1940s. This was basically an Alabama museum that we did Thanksgiving in.
Sounds perfect.
No, it doesn't. But outside of that part, it was beautiful. It was amazing to be at.
Well, I'm glad you had a fun break. And of course it was short. You had a lot of stuff to do with UAH as well. And tomorrow we'll be getting back to the Havoc Hour. Very much excited about that. Going to be at the Iceplex, just a little bit down the road. Going to start at 6.
Also, if right now, if you are driving around and you do need some coffee and you're a UAH Charger fan, go over to Turbo near Alabama A&M because Charger Chat is happening right now with both Coach Hedspeth and Coach Sharp as they are just kind of mingling with some UAH fans and everything.
Nice.
I would have been there today if we didn't have all the news that we kind of had, and I went, I can't do that one today. Yeah, no, absolutely not.
We have a wide open first hour for you guys.
So I just got my wife just texted me because she's listening. She's saying the flags that were hanging from the rafters inside the barn were the actual flags that were flown over the stadium.
That's a dedicated man right there.
They looked worn.
Did he climb up the flagpoles?
I don't
and get
know
them?
how this man got all of this stuff.
Crazy.
And when I tell you that I really believe he had the bunting from the 2011 national championship game. Like it took up like 2/3 of one of the walls.
These Bama diehards will do anything to get their bunting.
It was wild
Yeah.
to see. And again, I appreciate the fandom. And honestly, if I had what he had, I would have had my version of that. Far less banners. Well, I mean, not now because Auburn now has 9 national championships.
Woo!
But if you're talking about all the stuff, that place was absolutely magnificent.
Yeah.
It truly was.
I wonder how difficult it would be to get those national championship banners for Auburn. But my Thanksgiving was a little bit different. Got to hang out with the family right out the gates. Thanksgiving came very quick.
Go ahead and give us your stats.
Go ahead and
give us your stats.
The Turkey Bowl, which
go ahead and give us your stats.
I did have a stellar game.
I knew you would have this.
Only 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I threw an interception as well. Our team was up 21-7.
How did I know he'd have all this information?
Before Tommy's team came back and won the game. I got exhausted because I was running routes the entire time. I think I might have been the only wide receiver on the team, but I don't want to say that because there were kids playing. I do regret the fact that, and I love you, Joe Abraham. You're great. You're a great quarterback. I love you. We should have got the kids more involved. I was regretting that. I was like, dang, you know what? If we were going to lose anyway, we might have just given it to the kids. We might have had a little bit more of a chance. I woke up, though, the next morning, very much sore. The next day after that, very much sore.
Did you turn the ball over more or less than Cam Coleman? I need to know. Oh, look, it's a legit question because actually, I knew if I got you on this football on this football rant about your family football game, you wouldn't
wasn't as important as Cam Coleman's fumble.
Yeah.
All right. And I didn't fumble no balls. I just threw an interception early in the game.
A turnover.
Yeah. But it wasn't as like diehard, like I needed to hold on to that or I needed to not throw that football. But yeah, I was pretty much crippled for the rest of Thanksgiving break. And then I had a little bit more food on Saturday with my girlfriend's family, and then got home at the end of that and finally had a little bit of time to rest and get ready for this upcoming week that is jam-packed of sports talk, news, and weather, which is why you guys need to hit our boys up over at Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys that you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you're having any roofing problems, just look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. Of course, we're going to get into a lot of the coaching changes as well as the recap of the final week of the regular season in college football. But we do want to hit the phone lines, 256-576-97.7, as well as give out the prize for Joe Ross and Higher Echelon's giveaway to the Army-Navy game. We do, in fact, have a winner, and we will be throwing the winner out in the next segment here on the Blitz. But let's hop into those phone lines. We got Jacob on with us. Jacob, how you doing today, sir?
What's up, guys? How are y'all doing?
Doing good, man. How about you?
Man, I'm doing. Man, I listen to y'all every morning. Enjoy the show.
Thank you, sir.
I'll start off with what I do agree. No, let me ask you first this, Auburn fan.
Okay.
What do you think about the hire of Alex Golesh? Now, I know he had a great season a couple years ago, 9-3 or whatever, but and it's South Florida, so I give him that break. But he was 23-15.
He was.
To me, that just isn't that Alex Golesh's record as a head coach?
So there's a few things that I look at this just from the standpoint of traditional Auburn and not. He has zero ties to the school. That's the first thing that I absolutely love about the hire is he has no connections to Cowboy Hat. He has no connections to Hugh Freeze. He has no connections to any of those. That's the biggest thing about this. The second thing that I love is that he has 3 quarterbacks right now that are in the NFL, technically 4, if you count Dylan Gabriel as well. So I look at that as well. And at both USF and at Tennessee, he has also broken all of their school records when it comes to offensive output.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I look at as far as
Auburn's
a positive
biggest need.
1,000%. I mean, look, you had to get rid of Hugh Freeze to bring in an offensive guru. And so so that's the things I do like about it. I also do like the fact that he has the idea he's okay with a modern style of offense. He is able to evolve the offense and change it up and be able to kind of make it where, look, I mean, this guy had Milrow, or not Milrow, but Joe Milton out here, who could only throw 98-mile-per-hour fastballs, actually looking like Tennessee could be a college football playoff contender. Like that alone is amazing. So those are the
didn't y'all's biggest, one of the biggest things that y'all, I'm sorry to interrupt. One of y'all's biggest things that y'all as Auburn fans, I say y'all, I'm a Bama fan.
Yeah.
As y'all as Auburn fans, we're talking about you wanted a guy with the SEC. You didn't want to get some guy that just could not hang in the SEC. And I know he played great against a few teams, Alabama, but do you think he's got a good enough record, I should say, to hang there in the SEC?
I look at it as a guy that came in. He got his first head coaching gig in college football at South Florida. And I know you could look at the same thing with Brian Harsin, what he was able to do at Boise State. But this is a guy that turned a program completely around. He took him to the first bowl game since 2017, had him at 7-6 for 2 records. And then this year started off the year looking like one of the better teams in Group of 5 and stays that way at a 9-3 record. So although there isn't a lot to go off of with his head coaching career within college football, what you can see is change, and I think that is definitely huge. This isn't a John Summerall pickup. That's what they wanted, but this is that next best thing, and I think that Golesh will bring in a little bit more of that intensity. Plus, isn't this guy from Russia? You know,
he's actually
from. This guy's got a hard blood inside of his veins.
Absolutely.
I remember that when he played Bama, they had a story about that.
Oh, I'm telling you right now.
One quick question for
go for it.
You finished that about Golesh, but as far as Bama's running game, now that Jam's out, we don't know if Riley's going to be back from his broken jaw. What do y'all think? And I know Daniel Hill can handle it. He's a big fella. But gosh, guys, going from third string to starting running back's a big deal, and that worries me. Even though we our third, Riley and Jam's out, so that's pretty big news that I don't think people are talking about. Thanks, guys. I love y'all, man.
Appreciate it, Jacob. Good stuff from you. And yeah, going on to the Alabama run game. I mean, it's been a concern all season long. I think if you just put in one guy, I mean, he'll have probably the same productivity. Jam Miller did have 83 yards off of 15 carries this past weekend. And Daniel Hill gets 39. It really was not – it's still not where it needs to be to win a national championship or even win a few playoff games. But I still think that it is in the right direction. But now with Jam Miller possibly going to be out moving forward, I think that it's going to be a heavy burden on the Daniel Hill's shoulders. But also knowing that he is the guy and he won't have to share any reps, I think that he is going to be able to live up to what he has been showing us these past few weeks. The only problem is, is the offensive line going to hold up? Because I still see problems with that. And also when it comes to the pass blocking, Jam Miller's looked really good last game. The last 2 games, I would say, in pass blocking. But without him, now Daniel Hill's going to have to step up in something that I don't think he is really made for. He hasn't had to do much of. And I think that he is going to have to really step up as a pass blocker on top of just running the ball to show a little bit more life from this Alabama offense.
I think that the run game, to me, I still worry about Alabama when it comes to not so much just the run game, but I also look at it from just the offensive line in general, because, the only reason Auburn was able to get the type of pressure in which they were is because of the way the offensive line has been playing recently. And look, I mean, again, Ryan Williams had 0 catches. I didn't even know he played. And so, if it wasn't for, roughing the passer call and things along those lines, Auburn's winning that football game.
Yeah.
And so that's why it is crucial that this offensive line continues to play well, because the run game really didn't do anything. Honestly, Alabama offensively really didn't do much against Auburn in the Iron Bowl. And I know it is the Iron Bowl and people look at it just a little bit differently. I still look at it as win and loss. Yeah. Auburn has now lost, 6 in a row. That's all I care about. I don't care how close it is or the way that they lost. They've still lost. Now, has it been in heartbreaking fashion for Auburn fans? Yes. But you still lost. Like, that's the only biggest thing. I don't care about, we played well. No, I don't really care. you lost. And honestly, I don't even understand the reason why at some point in time we saw Jackson Arnold, for Christ's sakes. Why on earth did we not see Deuce Knight at some point in time?
I know.
Like,
I was
Auburn,
thinking about your prediction you made. I was like, wow, we might actually see Deuce Knight come out in this game.
Ashton Daniels,
just because of the way that, I mean, it was looking right out the gates. You said the offense wasn't doing much. It's because the offense did stuff at the very beginning and then kind of let off in the middle of that.
And that's that's the whole part that baffles me in this is that with the way that Auburn played offensively, Ashton Daniels wasn't completing passes. Now, some of those were on Auburn receivers. I will say that. Yeah. But don't go after Cam Coleman when he's basically having to go Circus Olay on trying to catch a pass behind him, and people go, Cam Coleman should have caught that.
Can't get mad at that one.
No.
I'm just glad he didn't tweak his leg.
Now, the Jeremiah Cobb one that was later on in the game and Jeremiah Cobb was coming back, that one's probably more on Cobb than what it is Ashton Daniels. But it's, again, accuracy is still Ashton Daniels' problem in this. The only reason this offense even moved for Auburn was because he was having to run the football as much as he was.
Yep.
Just let Deuce Knight do this. Like, you were not doing anything that he couldn't do. Like, that's the part where I got frustrated is, yes, I understand. But when your offense looked as bad as what it did for Auburn in the first half, yeah, it looked a little bit better in the second half. But that was just because of a big play by Simmons. And, again, I do think that if Coleman doesn't fumble, Auburn's scoring. Like, I do. But at the same time, the offense was only doing 75% of what it could have done if you would have let Deuce Knight go in there. So that's me personally on that side. As far as the Alabama team is concerned, I still want to see something out of this offense because right now I'm looking at the fact that no, Georgia doesn't get a ton of sacks, but they have a lot of guys that's going to get you a TFL. And right now with the way Alabama's offensive line is performing, I worry about those TFLs turning into sacks. That's my biggest thing with Alabama. Now, this could be a 16-13 ball game and Alabama wins. I mean, that's basically what it was when it was in Athens. It was 24-21. But if you look at the way that Georgia's been playing over the past few weeks, they've been behind in games. They've come back. They went and they played Texas and they came back. They were down to Florida at one point in time and they came back. Like, this team, even with what they went up against Georgia Tech, which that game should never be in Mercedes-Benz, it just killed every bit of the atmosphere.
Yeah, it was definitely weird.
Like, between the Georgia Tech game, the Texas game, even what you saw against Florida and Ole Miss, this team has handled adversity very well. And I do think that a lot of those players are not going to go out in the SEC championship and be as shell-shocked as what they were when this game happened in Athens.
No doubt about it.
Don't know why they were shell-shocked.
Yeah.
The uniforms for Alabama has not changed for 100 years.
I think that's why.
Like, you knew what the uniforms were going to look like. Oh, my God, they got numbers on their helmets. Like, there was nothing different about this Alabama team. You've seen this uniform enough. You shouldn't be surprised by it when you see it on your field.
Yeah, but it still shows that Alabama is a capable team to win these games.
Alabama's in their head.
But at this point in the season, where do you think Alabama will win this game? Do you think they'll be able to win this game? And if they lose it, what's the playoff committee going to do about it? We'd like to hear your guys' opinions and so much more throughout today's show. 256-576-97.7. We will get to Garrett on the other side of the Blitz here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone, ESPN Winchester, and WZZN TV.
This is The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. 256-576-4977.
The crimson and white jerseys.
Front court to the rack and the plunge.
The sound of a buzzer beater.
Got it to go as the buzzer sounds.
The Roll Tide chant from the crowd. It can only be Alabama basketball. Join the Alabama Crimson Tide right here on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Need tough equipment you can count on? Christopher Equipment has you covered. Whether it's air compressors, trenchers, bucket lifts, concrete tools, generators, skid steers, and more. Serving you with locations in Tullahoma, Shelbyville, Manchester, Fayetteville, and Hazel Green. Christopher Equipment. From job site to backyard, rent or buy, Christopher Equipment delivers the tools you need when you need them. Call 931-455-3900 or visit christopher.equipment today. Christopher Equipment, powering your project.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Phil Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
The company is Eagle Masonry and Insulation, but did you know they're also Eagle Landscaping and Dirt Work? Eagle can take care of all your landscaping needs, including irrigation, sod work, and planting, both plants and trees. On the dirt work side, Eagle can grade and build your pads, haul dirt in or out, and even do erosion control. Philip Love and his team can do it all for you. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy sky this afternoon. A couple of isolated showers are going to be possible across the Tennessee Valley. We're well below average for the first day of December. Highs only climbing into the mid and upper 40s, dropping into the lower 40s as we head into the overnight. Rain is going to meld in tonight and then stick with us through a good chunk of the day on Tuesday. A mostly cloudy sky. Temperatures climbing into the mid 40s.
Your Fox 54 weather. Only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. Weekday morning starting at 9 a.m. on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hello, welcome back into the Blitz. Have a lot of Iron Bowl recap as well as the border battles. Any of those games you want to talk about, we will at 256-576. 4977. Thank you, Joe. It was a little bit delayed,
Look,
but
I mute myself.
it's a weird day. It's a weird day.
Look, I mute myself not because of the FCC and what I may say that would make them mad, but if you hear how blunt I am on the air, you should hear off the air.
Yeah.
And I never want to screw up and just be like, heavens, did he actually say that?
He's straight up.
So one of the phrases that I always use around the house with my kids jokingly is heavens to Betsy.
Heavens to Betty.
Every time like something, I mean, heavens to Betsy. I do it, obviously. It's an old joke. It's an old thing. Going through Stranger Things this week, which I'm on episode 4, by the way. This season is absolutely amazing.
Of the new season?
Of the new season.
Do they drop every single episode?
They're doing like a volume 1, a volume 2.
Okay.
So like I think they're dropping volume 2 either on Christmas or right after Christmas.
Gotcha.
And so I'm going through, and at one point in time, the kid's dad's out hitting golf balls in the yard, and he hits one into the trees, and he goes, heavens to Betsy. And I looked at my wife, and I'm like, oh, did you hear what he said?
He said the thing. He said the thing.
I was like, I've never heard anybody else actually use that under the age of 40, but the show's also made in the 1980s. So yes, we have a lot of head coaching news that's happening. The Alex Golesh thing is the big thing for Auburn. He arrived last night. And it's a major story for Auburn. I think this is one that actually makes me kind of put John Cohen in a little bit of a better light. And again, I know all Auburn fans were thinking John Summerall, head coach. He's got Tulane in the American Conference Championship, everything. And he could have them in the college football playoff. But the Alex Golesh thing, the one thing that I've seen from him is how much of a developer of talent he is. And that phrase right there should be just something that all Auburn fans should just go, oh, thank you.
Yeah. When we talked about Hugh Freeze as a QB developer, you look at his pedigree and what he has been able to deal with. And in college, it's one thing. They're decent. They're fine. They get you by. But whenever it comes to what Alex Golesh has kind of developed, you go back to Tennessee. Whenever Josh Heupel first got there, of course, he followed Josh Heupel to UT. You really see that step up from a mediocre Vols squad to a legit playoff contender. And it's because of those quarterbacks. It's because of the offense efficiency. And that's what Golesh was there for, is to help boost this offense.
Jay Recher is going to join us in the 10 o'clock hour in Tampa. He's the host of the Jay Recher podcast. Yeah. He has been around every single Tampa team for years, and he actually does a lot of stuff for USF as well. And the moment that I saw this was Alex Golesh as the head coach, I literally shot him a text, and I was like, "Hey man, you want to come on?" Yeah. And because he has been a staple in that city, and he has been around this program a lot. And so he's going to know a lot more, even more information about it. And look, I will say that this is the first time in almost a decade that I truly can go, all right, I think Auburn actually made a good hire. Like, I genuinely believe that. And even Ike Jones on X even said, if Joe Hunk approves of this hire, then I think that this is it.
There you go.
The biggest reason is yes, he recruited Nico, and obviously we know how that's went, but it's not just about how he can get some 4-stars and 5-star guys in. It's about how he can develop them. And that word, develop, is something that Auburn itself has not thought about on the offensive side in arguably decades.
Yeah.
So that's why I see this as one that actually excites me. And I hope he just has a connection to the Russian mob.
That would be pretty cool.
Then maybe some of the boosters would just shut their mouths. That's all I hope.
That would be pretty rad.
I genuinely do hope
no
this.
doubt. John Summerall.
I may go get a USSR jersey. If we're loving Russia that much now, I mean, come on.
He left Russia at the age of 7, so I don't know how much.
He wasn't a member of the Soviet Union or anything. I mean, come on. I mean,
I don't exactly know all about the whole situation. I know he left because there was a lot of Soviet Union stuff that was going on. But there is some news around John Summerall that we'll be talking about as he heads to Florida. Again, quotes around that as another school seems to be pretty interested.
He was in the Soviet Union.
Yeah, that's
he's my age, and the Soviet Union fell in 91.
Yeah.
Oh heavens. Okay, my bad.
Interesting stuff there. Yeah. I think that's the reason why he left Russia.
Yeah.
But we will hop into the phone lines, 256-576-97.7. Garrett is on with us first. Garrett, how you doing, brother?
Hey, how are y'all? Heavens to Betsy. Roll Tide.
Heaven to Betsy.
Heavens
to Betsy.
Fantastic.
That
Garrett.
and Sweet Georgia Brown. I say both of those all the time. I don't know why I say either one of them, but I do. Yeah.
Well, in my crowd, which we're a construction group, we say an old phrase that says, dark as the inside of a cat. I mean.
Absolutely. I love that. I do.
Guys, I wanted to talk about a couple of things today. First thing is, yes, I believe Auburn has got themselves a good coach now. As you know, I'm an Alabama fan, but, it's just not – Auburn has to have everything they need to get a good coach. They just need to put one in there and let him, develop the program. Yeah. I mean, personally, I didn't think Hugh Freeze was a good hire, but the guy coming in he's shown good building everywhere he's been.
Yeah.
He's not a flash in the pan guy. So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah, and he's had plenty of time to build as well and just grow. I don't think this is a rushed type of hire. I think this is a guy that has shown a lot of work. And Joe and I were talking about this. The first thing that he would need to do, if he really wants this team to be stellar and a pretty complete looking squad going into the next season, get DJ Durkin back. Get him on the defensive side of the ball.
I am genuinely curious about the conversation he's had with DJ Durkin. I mean, because look, and this is where some coaches are just offensive or defensive guys. Like they just may be. Yeah. I know that Auburn played well during those 3 games that Durkin was the head coach. They obviously lost 2 of those games, but they did play better. The other part is, though, the defense, even though it looked okay against Alabama in the Iron Bowl, this defense didn't look as good as what it did when he was solely focused on the defense. And if he's solely focused on it, I would much rather him just be the DC But I don't know what his end game is. I mean, I don't know if he's one of those coordinators. It's like, you know what? I just like coaching defense. I just want to coach it. Or if he still has plans that he would like to be a head coach.
Yeah.
Well, I can say this. My biggest concern when I found out y'all dumped Hugh Freeze is, oh my God, Durkin is going to be back in there running the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And Auburn's defense was scary. It was. I mean, to all SEC teams, not just the runners or the passers, to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And speaking of which, this is my gripe of the week, I guess.
All right.
I don't understand why we can't get straight on targeting calls. I don't get it. If a quarterback is running the ball, he is not a defenseless, he's not a defenseless player.
No.
If he's got the ball tucked and he's running it, he's not defenseless. So here we go. A running back runs up the field. He lowers his head. He hits a defender in the chest with the crown of his helmet. That's not targeting. But if the defender lowers his head and hits a running back, then that's not targeting. However, if it's a receiver and he's running with a ball and you lower your head, then they call targeting. So we had 2 targeting calls in the Alabama-Auburn game, and I thought both of them were very suspect, and especially the one from the Auburn kid getting thrown out.
Yeah.
He ran in there. He hit the quarterback with his chest, and his momentum caused his face mask to bump. And I don't mean hit, I mean bump Ty Simpson's head, and they threw him out of the game.
No.
You know?
And
is Auburn going to get to go to a bowl game? Or
No, they're not.
I really don't know.
Unless a team opts out or isn't eligible for a bowl game due to some academic reasons, that's the only thing that would let Auburn find a way in.
The way that this will go is obviously they're not eligible because they didn't win 6 games, but the only way that they're going to get in is if there's not enough bowl teams to fill out the bowl slots. And then what it does is then they start going into academic standards and all this other stuff that kind of pops into it. And that's how they then select the teams to be the ones that actually make up those spots if they're 5 and 7.
But I totally agree with you. Cameron Calhoun's, his targeting call, that was very solid. Of course, he led with the crown of his helmet. But going into Auburn's, I did not think that was a targeting call. I didn't think it would go the way of Alabama. And then whenever they called it, I'm just thinking the emotions from the player. You're looking up on the big screen. You're thinking you're going to be fine. And then just like that, you're kicked out of the game just because of a call that might have been a little bit sus.
And if y'all were going to a bowl game, he would miss the first half of that game.
Yeah.
Now, where I disagree on the Kevin Coleman call is this. The quarterback was a running back. He was not trying to pass the ball. There's no doubt about what he was doing. They tend to call targeting if a quarterback's running the ball, and they won't call it if a running back or receiver's running the ball, but they'll call it if it's a quarterback.
Yeah.
I don't think that's right. I don't understand why we can't get agreed on what targeting is and how it should be viewed. I mean, y'all's quarterback absolutely dipped his head down, did he not?
He did.
Okay.
Like any other running back would, too.
Yeah.
And that's another tough thing to go off of.
Well, that's what I'm saying, If you can get targeting like that, then I think there ought to be a rule where all running backs and quarterbacks and receivers should stand up and run straight up, and they're not allowed to lower their head.
No.
I mean, then you'd have a clear targeting call.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's stupid, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
It'll always be a tough call, and we appreciate that good stuff from you.
Phone call, bro.
It's a tough call to make, and it is always a tough call to make. But whenever you can clearly see that a defender had his head up and he hits with his chest pretty much first, that's whenever you really need to make sure you make the right call, because there are targeting plays on every single down, pretty much. Whether you're a lineman, whether you're a running back. I mean, look at what Cam Scatterby was doing every single time he puts his head down. How are you supposed to defend against that?
Missile.
So you gotta play a little bit aggressive. Sometimes you have to match that energy, and a lot of times it's gone missed, and it is really just it's a problem within college football. But again, how are you supposed to be able to dictate whether or not a play is a targeting or not? That's always going to be something.
I mean, also, you could talk also as about Horton pushing off on the touchdown early in the game as well.
Yeah, come on now.
I mean, I'm just saying.
I mean, come on now. There were missed penalties. We all know that. There were a few missed penalties.
Okay,
right.
Like there really kind of was.
I see where you're coming.
And we'll continue taking your phone calls as well. Question for you as we also go into the break. Is Lane Kiffin the one that is in the wrong?
Oh, jeez. No.
I mean, I'm just curious.
I'm just going to say
because which way is it? Is he or is he not the one that is in the wrong for what is currently happening? There was actually a live coverage on ESPN of him pulling up into LSU just a little while ago. So there's a lot that's kind of happening with that. Obviously, the Alex Golesh thing is huge here. We'll talk to Jay Recher coming up in the second hour. But asking you, is Lane Kiffin the one in the wrong for everything that is happening at Ole Miss and now LSU? 256-576-4977. We continue on the Blitz. ESPN Winchester, 97.7 ESPN The Zone, and WZZN TV.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham, 256-576-4977. This is the Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
College basketball tonight. Troy, a 15.5-point home favorite against West Georgia. It's Jacksonville State laying 5.5 against North Alabama, the Pete Matthews Coliseum. And Middle Tennessee is a 3.5-point dog at home to UAB, 155.5 the total at the Murphy Center. In college football Friday night, Jacksonville State, a 1.5 favorite over Kennesaw State at home. In the Conference USA title game, Troy, a 21.5-point dog at James Madison for the Sun Belt crown. Coming up on Saturday, Alabama and Georgia meet for the SEC title in Atlanta. Bulldogs open as a 1.5 favorite. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
At Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy, it's not just what we do, it's who we are. Founded in 2003 by Huntsville natives Scott Johnson and Todd Hayes, Johnson & Hayes brings exceptional care to every patient through an all-star team of highly trained physical therapists. From sports performance to post-op rehab, dizziness, women's health, and more. With 7 locations across North Alabama, expert care is always close to home. Learn more at johnsonandhayes.com. Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy, where extraordinary care meets exceptional outcomes.
Firehawk Aerospace is a non-traditional defense contractor advancing the state of propulsion to strengthen the U.S. Defense Initiative. Founded in 2019, Firehawk Aerospace established early leadership in manufacture propulsion with the development of 3D printed hybrid rocket fuel grains. Visit firehawkaerospace.com to learn more. That's firehawkaerospace.com.
At Mr. Sparky, we're America's on-time electrician. Flickering lights and hot switches can be annoying, but they can also signal a major problem, or worse, an electrical emergency. So play it safe and leave it to the experts at Mr. Sparky. Trust our team of professional, clean, and friendly electricians. We'll get it done right and get it done safely.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888 8-SPARKY.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in the respective state or county.
Where's the best place for sports? What about the best place for wings? If you answered Jefferson's for both, you're right. Jefferson's is also a great place for value. Every Monday, kids eat free with the purchase of an adult meal, and teachers bring your teacher ID and you eat free every first Tuesday of the month up to $15. Jefferson's, best place for sports, best place for wings, in Hampton Cove and our latest location, now open in New Market on Winchester Road.
Your Fox 54 weather.
I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We're talking about rain as we head into the overnight, early into your Tuesday morning. Temperatures only dropping into the upper 30s, lower 40s. Rain looks like it's probably going to continue through a good chunk of the day on Tuesday. A mostly cloudy sky Tuesday afternoon. Temperatures climbing into the mid-40s. Got a high right around 46, dropping into the mid-30s as we head into the overnight.
Your Fox 54 weather, only on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. The Tom Abraham Show. Weekdays beginning at noon on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
One holiday comes to an end. The next is right around the corner. Look forward to our Christmas party for the listeners and for the kids. Going to be going down at Field Day on December 15th. Make sure you guys save the date and also follow us on Facebook, X, as well as Instagram, anywhere social media. You guys can find us at 97.7 ESPN, and we'll have posts up about that all throughout the week so you guys will know exactly what to expect from our Christmas party this year. We've had a lot of great years over at Flow Supreme Air, and now it's going to be a little bit of fun over at the brand new Field Day location off of University. So we're looking very much forward to that, as well as your phone calls at 256-576-97.7. Brandon is on with us. Brandon, how you doing today, man?
Can we give Lane Kiffin a little bit of credit for doing something that I've not seen that he brought new to college football?
What's that?
He got a whole host of people to show up at the airport to flick him off on his way out. And it was live streamed. It was news event. That's not happened.
I actually applaud him for that. That's actually pretty awesome. Also, he owes Marty Smith a car. I mean, like that man, Marty
owes Marty
Smith
is a Xanax, a back rub, a spa weekend.
Look,
I mean, did you see the memes of him looking like Moses?
Yes, being like it's been 76 years. Lane Kiffin has still not made a choice. I haven't seen my kid in 30 years. I have grandchildren that I've never met. Like it's that sort of thing with it. Look, and Marty, I woke up, so I dozed off for a few minutes after the Iron Bowl. I wake up and it's 1 a.m. and Marty is doing a live hit from Oxford on ESPN.
Well, we haven't gotten anything yet, but I think it's coming.
1 a.m. He's like, they're still meeting. Like it was outlandish at how long this man was living there. Like, absolutely. Like Marty Smith and Lane Kiffin are tied together now the exact same way that LeBron James and whoever that beat writer was that basically just followed him around for majority of his career. Like those guys are just at the hip. Like those will always be connected.
Back in the day, maybe that would have happened with Mike Price if people had been more organized. That was before the social media era. But this was, man, like the amount of people that showed up, and then people showed up to his son's football game begging him to stay, 2 days before?
Well, and this is why I'm asking if Lane Kiffin is actually in the wrong. Like which one is in the wrong in your opinion?
He is having to play the game the way the game is set up.
Facts.
And we don't like the outcome, but we're not changing the input.
No. I thought the same thing. I thought the same thing with that.
Look, and
if National Signing Day was in February, after the transfer portal that should open after the end of the season,
yes,
then he could have stayed his butt put.
I
That's
hate
not
to
going
say,
to happen.
I hate to say that I agree with Rick Pitino, but even he posted about how this is messed up. He goes, I'm coaching at St. John. I coach the entire regular season, and then I take a brand new head job, and I am told that I can't coach in March. Like, what are you doing? Like, why is this the system that we are currently in? And at the same time, Lane is also the one that was very vocal about wanting to continue to coach the team. The players were vocal about wanting him to continue coaching the team through the end of this. It was Ole Miss that said, nope, not doing it.
Yep. Keith Carter, to be more specific, it was Keith Carter.
Well, look, and to add to this as well, Ole Miss has also already screwed themselves over because they have already named Pete Golding the next head coach. And according now to the new NCAA rules, in 5 days, every single player on that Ole Miss team can enter the transfer portal now, which will be before the College Football Playoff Committee announces who is playing in the tournament.
Yeah. Traditional college football transfer portal starts January 2nd.
Yes.
So just keep that in mind.
But the new rules say that a player cannot enter the transfer portal after a head coach leaves until 5 days after the new head coach is named. If Ole Miss had not done that, then they could be left out of the college football playoff entirely because all of their players entered the transfer portal.
And that's how I wanted to kind of look at this, because now that you don't have Lane Kiffin coaching your team in the postseason, where will the committee kind of gauge where this team belongs? Are they still that top 10 ranked Ole Miss team without Lane Kiffin? Because that is a huge piece that you're missing. And you go back to a guy like Jordan Travis a few years ago. Why did Florida State miss the postseason? They were undefeated. It's because they didn't have their quarterback that got them there. This is the coach that's got them to where they are now, and he is now not with your team. Now you add on the fact that they're not going to have the players moving forward. The playoff committee has a whole lot to deal with now with this Rebel squad.
There's a real easy way to fix a lot of this, and it's to do a couple of things. You're going to have to open the transfer portal for people after the season's over. And then we're going to have to go back to the February National Signing Day. That's how you fix part of it, which means your players are not going to be able to transfer before summer. That's just how it's going to have to be. You're going to have to do that. That locks everybody into place. Everybody coaches to the end of the year. The way you fix this whole ordeal with the college football playoff is you got to go to 24. And you got to give 4 bids, or you got to give at least 4 teams to each 4 conferences. No matter how much they suck, even if they're 7-5, they get 4 teams in, and then the committee picks the bottom 8.
So Duke's in. Duke is now in.
Unfortunately, yes, and they will get dragged out of an elevator like Ray Rice's wife, but that's just how it's got to be.
Yes. Look, and I think that this is the biggest concern of this, and I think that now when you talk about the issues with college football, the scheduling of how everything goes about it is a bigger issue than the 14 playoff, the 12-team playoff, the 16-team playoff, because yes, this is giving us stuff to talk about now in the month of December, but you are hindering all of the advancement of your sport in this month because of the way this is all set up. Nobody's going to be talking about bowl games. Nobody, I mean, this bowl game's happening. Yeah, but how many players are transferred? How many players are sitting out? Yeah. How many players are doing this? Like, all of that stuff now has taken over what the meaning of the month of December and January is supposed to be. And that is a much bigger issue than 16 teams or 2014.
And at least now Auburn has finally hired a coach I can call the redheaded stepchild.
I absolutely love the fact. That's another thing.
My whole life.
He is he's a redhead. He's fiery. I love that as well. That add to the list of the things that I love about him outside of what he can actually coach on the sidelines.
And I wanted to throw this in here because I wanted to address this because I know Joe kind of deals with this behind the scenes. Mike Giddens, Mike G, on Twitter, put this up and said, an independent source has told the Rat Report that John Summerall soured on the Auburn job after being presented with a series of discouraging narratives on what coaching on the Plains would entail. Those accounts range from stories of overreaching boosters to allegations of staffers embedded within the program with the purpose of monitoring and reporting on the head coach. In short, virtually every familiar negative trope about the Auburn was repackaged and relayed to him until he backed away from the opportunity.
No.
The source states financials had nothing to do with decisions. Auburn's offer to Summerall was equal to Florida with a stronger incentive structure.
Yeah.
See?
And this is exactly what you were saying, Joe.
Yeah.
You were saying that Auburn wants a specific person, and if John Summerall doesn't want to be kind of held in check by the system that is what Auburn has over there, then he is not going to go to the play.
And that's what I hope that John Cohen and Alex Golesh have an agreement on, is that John Cohen gets to make his own decisions and Alex Golesh gets to do what he wants to do as a coach.
No.
Because if this is the same old Auburn, and we appreciate that phone call, Brandon.
Great stuff, Brandon.
Wolverine Dan, we're going to get to you at the top of the hour. If Alex Golesh is not allowed to do what he can do, and he doesn't have the backing of the boosters because he's not doing what the boosters want, then this is going to be another Brian Harsin situation.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking.
I hate to break it to you, and I cannot wait for the Brian Harsin book to come out whenever it does, which he hasn't said he's writing a book, but he needs to. When everybody finds out all the garbage that is going on around Auburn, until somebody puts a stop to it, Auburn is never going to be good.
Yeah.
Alabama fans are okay with that, but I'm telling you, Auburn will never be a consistent contender until certain people just shut their cowboy hats up and mouth and let Auburn be Auburn.
Phone lines are open now. 256-576-4977. This is The Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Tide fans.
Here comes the Tide.
Let's move.
And one for the win. Ball game. Bama wins.
Grab your hard hats and tune in for blue collar basketball with the Crimson Tide all season long on your home for Alabama basketball.
Listen to Alabama basketball all season long on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
I'm here with Stan McDonald of Jacob Title. Stan, I've heard that every real estate closing at Jacob Title is a very big deal. Why is that?
Wes, I'm reminded of a very impactful statement that I heard from Coach Gene Stallings years ago when he talked about big games and little games. He said he didn't like that comparison. He says, because try losing one of those little games. And if you ever do, it ends up being the biggest game all year long. Well, it's the same thing with real estate closings. Every game, every closing is a very big deal at Jacob Title. Because when it's your closing and your contract on the line, it's a very big deal, and we understand that at Jacob Title.
So it sounds like whether your client is a first-time residential buyer or a multi-million-dollar investor, they can expect your A game.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, when you bring your real estate closing to us at Jacob Title, we understand it's all about trust and confidence. And when Stan McDonald tells you that a chicken dips snuff, you can look under his wing for the box.
And like Beebs likes to say, there's no doubt about it.
Sure, Valley Equipment Rental takes care of the homeowner and his needs, but how about the pros out there? Well, Valley Equipment has the big stuff as well. The equipment you need to get any job done. I'm talking about the big track hoe excavators, from the 30,000-pound mid-size one to the big boy 50,000-pound units. Need a dozer on the job? Well, they've got them up to 105 horsepower, and that's a good-sized machine. Plus, Valley Equipment has more lifts than anyone around. Up to 80-foot booms that reach 56 feet with a 10,000-pound capacity. 2 locations, North and South Parkway. Check them out today.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed mold, mildew, bowing walls, or water in your basement? I hope not, but if you have, your basement is losing the war against groundwater. That's where AFS comes in, a groundworks company. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Schedule your free inspection at afsrepair.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
From the University of Alabama, this is Crimson Tide Today. It's a daily update on Bama sports, and it's brought to you by Guthrie's, America's original chicken finger restaurant and a proud partner in the Alabama Crimson Tide. For franchise information, visit Guthrie'sChicken.com. Hello again, everybody. I'm Roger Hoover. Here are post-game thoughts from Kalen DeBoer after Saturday's Iron Bowl victory at Auburn.
Couldn't be more proud of these guys. First of all, for this game and just how resilient they were within the game. Obviously, we jumped on pretty quick early, but they had some explosive plays, and I feel that's the one thing that's disappointing is we gave us some explosives, and we didn't have the explosives, but the takeaways and taking care of the football ourselves was huge. But just the fight and the belief. I think there's some teams that hope they can find a way. I think our guys really understand that they get in these spots, they're going to make it happen, and nothing's going to be given to you. You got to earn it. These guys have done that since day one. They've worked for this situational football, fourth downs, whatever it might be.
I'll have more in a moment.
This year we honor the most important anniversary ever. An event that reshaped civilization as we know it. A day that would lead to something so flawless that nothing could ever really compare. People have tried to match it, but have failed. This year, we celebrate the 60th anniversary of Guthrie's, the home of the original chicken finger. Just talking about it gets me all choked up. And hungry for a chicken finger. Guthrie's, an original obsession for 60 years.
Join us tonight for Crimson Tide Rewind, live from Bob Howard's Victory Grill in Vestavia Hills at 6 p.m. Central. You can listen on our full radio network, the Varsity Network app, as well as catch a video replay on Tuesday morning on the CTSN YouTube page. Crimson Tide Today is brought to you by Guthrie's. Crimson Tide Today is a production of the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Drivers who switch to Progressive have an annual savings of nearly $750. Progressive.com.
College basketball tonight. Troy, a 15.5-point home favorite against West Georgia. It's Jacksonville State laying 5.5 against North Alabama, the Pete Matthews Coliseum. And Middle Tennessee is a 3.5-point dog at home to UAB, 155.5 the total at the Murphy Center. In college football Friday night, Jacksonville State, a 1.5 favorite over Kennesaw State at home. In the Conference USA title game, Troy, a 21.5-point dog at James Madison for the Sun Belt crown. Coming up on Saturday, Alabama and Georgia meet for the SEC title in Atlanta. Bulldogs open as a 1.5 favorite. For more, go to VSIN.com. Mike Sennett, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Log on today, 97.7ESPN.com. Joe Hunk. John Abraham, 256-576-4977. Welcome to the Blitz.
Second hour, final hour, best hour, 97.7 ESPN The Zone. Joe Hunk, John Abraham, and the Blitz with you on this very cold Monday morning.
Too cold.
I love it. I'm all about it. What was really funny is this morning my wife, when I was like, hey, what's the temperature outside? She goes, cold. Here's what you're wearing today. Jeans, a hoodie, and a hat.
Sounds about right.
Yes, ma'am. Let my daughter pick my hat. I always give her an option of like 3 hats to pick. I'm like, which one do you want? What was funny is one of the hats that I had her choose from was the Sparkman Colonel Reb hat, and I almost wore it. And I was like, please pick this one. Please pick this one. Please pick this one. I said, I just want to wear the hat, but at the same time, that's funny considering what's happened today and yesterday. So, that is, it is going to be very cold. Did I hear you say something about a certain white powdery substance that freaks the entire city out?
It's supposed to sleet tomorrow morning, just for a little bit. Okay. So look forward to that. Hopefully you don't have another freezing over situation. That's knock on wood. Everybody, let's knock on wood.
So
because then it would be similar to what's going on with Kentucky.
Yeah,
everything's freezing over.
Well, and hey, there's a guy, Kentucky, go for you, Freeze. He's available. By the way, I know a lot of people are also curious about Alex Golesh and what this means for the current Auburn team. As far as, again, Alex Golesh has been named, so that means that 5 days after him being named, players can enter the transfer portal if they wish to. You can always read into the cryptic contexts and text messages and what people are saying on social media, and it may or may not mean anything, but Deuce Knight posted just a few moments ago in his Instagram story a picture with him, and the song that was playing was All In. So everybody's probably wondering about what his status is as far as the future is concerned with that.
Should be fine.
Now the next question is going to be Cam Coleman in his situation as well.
Got to make sure you bring back two of those guys because those are the two most electric players on offense.
Now that is what's happening with Auburn as far as the day is concerned and the way that the next few days are going to be playing out when it comes to headlines that way. Obviously, we've talked a lot about Lane Kiffin, John Summerall in Florida is not a totally done deal yet, but none of those teams are actually going to be playing right now. A team that's actually going to be playing in a few weeks is the Army Black Knights as well as the Navy Midshipmen, which that game is going to be happening in Baltimore. At some point in time, we had been asking you to call in, to register, to win, to get everybody in so that we could pick a winner where we could give these tickets away. Now, these are just for the tickets. You have to get up to Baltimore and figure out the rest, but we are giving you tickets inside the stadium. You can walk up, get them scanned, and walk straight in for Army-Navy.
No doubt. And we finally have a winner. Appreciate you, Joe Ross and Higher Echelon, for making this whole thing possible. But the winner was one of you guys that was on our show. You answered the question correctly earlier in November, and that winner is Big Mike.
Woo! Mike!
Big Mike, we will get you to call in, or we will call you, and we will get your information so we can get those tickets sent over to you as soon as possible so you can get your preparation ready for that trip to Maryland to watch this historic game. A lot of fun is going to come from that. And I wish that he could bring with him like a Fleming roof because it's probably going to be treacherous. You know, it looks like the weather is probably going to be very cold. It is Maryland, and probably very similar to what we saw this past weekend within the NFL, as every single game looked to either have rain or snow coming down. And the only way you can prevent that is with a roof over your head. And of course, Fleming Roofing and Restoration are the people to do that for you. Just look them up online at FlemingHSV.com. Fill out that free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. A Big Mike, you are the winner of the Army-Navy ticket contest. Good stuff from you for getting that question right and then being the picked number as well as listener to get those tickets. So good stuff from you.
Also developing right now, may or may not mean anything. We'll find out in the next few weeks. National Signing Day is going to be coming up in about roughly 20 days or so. But 4-star interior offensive lineman Jatori Williams has decommitted from Alabama this morning. He is an interior offensive lineman from Phoenix City. He's been committed with Alabama since September, but he has also visited Auburn the past few weeks as well. So may or may not have anything to do with the hiring of Alex Golesh, which obviously the Auburn offensive line is something that definitely needs some help going into the 2026 season.
Please don't go.
So it is, you say, please don't go. And I'm like, come on, bud.
I know.
Absolutely.
That's the perfect thing about having a combined Auburn and Alabama fan show, even though, of course, we talk all things sports, whenever it comes down to the Iron Bowl and all things football in our state.
The Iron Bowl felt like it was 6 weeks ago.
It does feel like it was a while ago.
After everything that happened yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like the Iron Bowl was the beginning of November.
Yeah.
That's how it feels. 256-576-977. Let's continue on the phone lines.
We got Wolverine Dan on with us. What's up, man?
Well, first off, I was getting, my heart was palpitating. I'm thinking, I won the question of the tickets on your show. I'm thinking, oh yeah.
Well, that's what we wanted to do. We wanted everybody to feel like they were, they had a chance, because everybody who did come in and do this contest, which was a large amount of you guys, everybody had the same amount of chances.
Yeah, man. I'm a big winner, bro. I'm a big winner. Okay. What a great Thanksgiving, fellas. You come to my house, you're going to get gourmet. Gourmet, top-notch grub. All right. Now, if I could shave my beard and grow some, I make a hell of a wife.
Wow.
Wow. I don't know what to do with that, right? You
No,
go, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I have no idea.
No.
Don't know where to go with that one.
Yeah.
Actually.
Gentlemen, I got the perfect turkey recipe. Anybody wants it, let me know. It's in a roaster pan, which is off to the side of the kitchen where I put it in the laundry room. And I don't open it up until it's ready to cut. It's delicious. Anyway, with that said, I have so much to be thankful for. How about, let's start with this. My Michigan Wolverines beat Auburn by 30 and then beat Gonzaga by 40 freaking points and won $1 million tournament. How about that?
$1 million. Yeah, huge win against Gonzaga. And Auburn's no pushover either. Definitely big stuff from Michigan's basketball team in Las Vegas.
This team's going deep in the playoffs, and you watch deep.
Yeah, we're talking basketball, Joe. Come on now.
Yeah, because that's what everybody's thinking about right now when they think about what Michigan did over the week.
Yeah. That's right. And here's the other thing. Mahomie ain't no homie, Mahomie. You're gone, bro. It's over.
Yeah. He still had a solid game, 4 touchdown passes, but obviously, you lose to the Cowboys. You're at the point you are now. What are they, 6-6? They need to win every single game, and I don't even know if that is going to help them. If they win every single game, they need to make sure the other teams lose the game. So it's going to be a tough situation for them right now.
Besides that, I really got nothing else to talk about.
Okay.
You sure? Nothing else happened this week that you want to talk about? Nothing else?
I got nothing. No, man.
Nothing.
No, you don't understand, bro. In my world, even my poop stinks, okay? You know what I'm saying? I'm serious, bro. Too. No, I'm serious. I get a little gross on this conversation. That's the second thing. I promise you I won't do it the third time. But I will say this, fellas. It's all sweet. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's how you look at it. It's the perspective, man. And right now, I'm living a dream, man. I'm happy as could be. And you know what? It's entertainment. When I listen to y'all, I get entertained. It makes the day go by. And that's what your job's there to do. And you do it very well, both you guys. And that's why Wolverine Dan is invincible. You cannot.
Yes.
You can't stop it. Okay,
I love it.
It's there.
I love it,
and that's why it's there. Because fellas, it's all about the happiness and how you project yourself and what you do on this earth, bro. You know as well as I do. So I'm happy.
Yes. Good stuff. Wolverine Dan, I appreciate you, man, for even throwing that out there. We appreciate all of the listeners as well, because, of course, you're the only reason we're able to keep this station going, as well as the numerous sponsors that we have throughout the airways. But he didn't bring up his Detroit Lions. He didn't bring up his football team. And honestly, look, I understand we're here to entertain, but we also got to throw out the facts.
That's the reason why I was questioning the whole phone call.
Yeah, the Wolverines lost to Ohio State, which we saw that was probably going to happen. It was going to be a tough game for that Michigan Wolverines squad.
Do you know that the Lions right now aren't even in the playoff?
The Lions are 7-5. They dropped to the Packers. It was a close game.
I mean, right now they are 7-5. They're sitting in the 8th spot right now in the NFC.
They'll find a way in. This Lions team is too good, but the NFC right now is
Dallas,
too good.
By the way, they're right in front of Dallas. Kansas City's not much better. They're sitting in 10th place. In front of them is the Steelers, which they should continue to drop. Houston Texans, which are playing much better, and then the Buffalo Bills that are sitting at 8-4 right now. So again, there's still like 5 or 6 weeks left of the regular season, so a lot can change.
Who is going to fall out though when it comes down to the NFC side of things? If we're going off of what Wolverine Dan wants to see, and that's the Detroit Lions making it to the postseason, who's going to be that team that falls off? Because right now it is absolutely stacked.
I could actually see it either being the Colts or the Ravens.
Well, I'm talking about the NFC. Because when it comes to the AFC, there's some openings that might happen. But with the NFC, you've got teams like the Seattle Seahawks. You got the Chicago Bears. You got the Packers, who might be a little hit or miss at some points. But you also have the Rams, who look really good, who lost to the Carolina Panthers. Just wanted to throw that out there. The Panthers are legit at this moment. But, of course, they were playing in their elements.
That's another spot of this is right now they own the tiebreaker for the AFC. So it doesn't matter where they're sitting right now, because if they win the AFC South, then NFC South, then they're in.
I know you want to talk the AFC South.
No, I don't.
The Titans are so good right now.
I mean, seriously, it was the joke yesterday was how hilarious was it? Because at one point in time in the game, they did a ticket giveaway for season tickets to the brand new stadium as they were showing the old stadium's upper deck and how little it was actually filled.
Yeah.
Because of how horrible this team is.
It was,
is bad.
Was the weather bad? I mean, was it a little cold?
It was cold. It was a little rainy.
People don't want to show up for a 1-10 team.
And trust me, I mean, last year I was credentialed for the last game of the regular season, and Titans were already garbage, but they were rocking the Oilers uniforms and they were playing the Texans. And I was like, you know what? Sure, I'll go in there. I'll hang out with Titans radio for a little bit, do what I can. But then it was so dreary. It was raining. It was miserably cold. It was like, this just sucks all the way around. There's no reason to be in it. So, but that's part of what you get when you get with the NFC and the AFC when you're talking about football. What's also interesting to this as well is we're about to go to break. Note before we go into John Recher, in LSU's contract with Lane Kiffin, it says that LSU has agreed to pay his postseason bonuses, even though he will not be coaching Ole Miss in the college football playoff.
Boom.
So he still has the ability to make $1 million extra if the Rebels win the national championship. We come back. Jay Recher is going to join us to talk about Alex Golesh here on 97.7 ESPN The Zone and WZZN TV.
Joe Hunk, John Abraham. You can watch the Blitz live now on X at 97.7 ESPN.
Your customers deserve the best, and so do you. You invest in your customers with your heart, soul, and skill. Well, it's time to invest in yourself with the next generation Cat 255 compact track loader from Thompson Tractor. After all, those who give their best deserve the best. And this machine has it all, with features that include a more powerful engine, tri-axle truck loading capabilities, a spacious cab, and a smooth ride for all-day comfort. Best of all, now Thompson Tractor is making that investment even better with our workhorse special. Get 0% financing for 36 months on the purchase of a new Cat 255 compact track loader that comes with a 3-year warranty. You also get a 74-inch bucket and 1,000-hour filter kit. Great news. This offer is now extended through the end of December. Visit ThompsonTractor.com for details. Thompson Tractor. We're here for you.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at the service department at Woody Anderson Ford. When you need service on your vehicle, whether it's a Ford or any other make, you want to get into Woody Anderson Ford where their expert service technicians will get it diagnosed and repaired right away, the right way. And while you are there, check out all the new and pre-owned vehicles at Woody Anderson as well. They are ready to make you the best deal possible. Visit Woody Anderson Ford today.
Woody Anderson Ford on Jordan Lane in Huntsville, Hughes Road in Madison, and online at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
When the final whistle blows, the conversation is just getting started. Catch the Alabama Football Recap Show with Drew DeArmond and Steve Moulton on 97.7 The Zone. Brought to you by Dreamland Barbecue in Huntsville, proud title sponsor of the Recap Show. Because when it comes to football and ribs, everybody knows ain't nothing like them nowhere. Alabama football, Dreamland Barbecue, the perfect team.
Are you tired of chasing a roofing contractor to show up on time or even show up at all? I'm Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Our motto at Fleming Roofing is we show up. Our goal at Fleming Roofing is to provide the reliable customer service that you deserve, and we have the resources to meet all of your roofing needs: residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. We are manufacturer certified for roof coatings, single-ply membranes, and asphalt shingles. Whenever you need a roofing professional you can count on, call Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We are committed to finding the solution that meets your needs. We don't have quotas or heavy-handed sales tactics. Fleming Roofing. We have expert experience. We show up. Free estimates. Residential, commercial, industrial, replacement, or repairs. Check us out at FlemingHSV.com. FlemingHSV.com. When you need a quick response, it's Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
It all
all comes back to money.
Visit our store right now at zonedeals.bigdealsmedia.net to take advantage of all the best deals in the Tennessee Valley. Or just go to our website, 977ESPN.com, and click on the Zone Deals logo to start saving right now.
Now, as to the price.
These deals won't last long, so get yours now. Zone Deals. You'll thank us later.
A man who could easily afford to buy a vowel.
Some call me a renegade, the enemy. Throw your hands up if you feel the same.
All right, coming up tonight, the drive is going to be at Carrabba's, broadcasting at 5 o'clock. You can go hang out with Steve Moulton, West Neighbors, over at Carrabba's right there at Parkway Place, because, some reason you may want to be going to a mall in the month of December.
I was there yesterday.
Yeah, see, John was there yesterday. I've done every bit of my shopping. I've done 99% of the shopping online before we even got to Cyber Monday.
Wow.
Yep.
I can't wait. I forgot about Cyber Monday.
Yeah,
I didn't do anything on Black Friday.
Cyber Monday is today. There's a ton of things, deals and everything that's going on. You can also tonight, while you maybe be doing some of that Cyber Monday shopping, the Crimson Tide rewinds at 6, and then it is going to be the New York Giants and the New England Patriots on Monday Night Football that you'll be listening to on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. And you can also be watching us right now on X on WZZN TV.
No doubt about it. And Jackson Dart will be back for this matchup, so it should be a little bit more interesting. I liked Jameis Winston, Olai, I do, but at the same time,
crazy uncle.
You see what the future of New York holds for him, and that consists of a guy named after a dartboard.
This is where social media has been absolutely amazing, because over the course of probably the last 4, 5, 6 years, obviously you start to follow people on social media, you begin talking to them, you start to have conversations, and you kind of, know each other a little bit over the course of that period.
I really feel like I know Scattaboo after watching some of his streams.
I don't know Scattaboo, but you also start to have these people, especially in our industry, that you see as the person that you're like, this is the person I need to get on for a certain topic.
Yeah.
And so over the course of the last few years, I've become friends with and talk with a lot of the people down in Tampa. If you obviously know Kyle Berger that used to work at Way 31, he's now in Tampa as well. But Jay Recher has been one that I've followed him on social media for years. I know how much stuff he does around the Tampa area. He is at every single sporting event, especially Lightning games, just dressed to the nines. And then you also have the Jay Recher podcast that he hosts, and he also does stuff for USF as well. So I knew there was only one person I needed to contact to get on the moment that I knew Alex Golesh was going to be the man to be the next head coach at Auburn. And Jay joins us right now. And as Jay and I were messaging back and forth yesterday, wait, did you say that you're in New York now?
I'm finally back in Tampa. Holy smokes, man! It's been a crazy week. I went to a wedding in St. Thomas. And then I went to New York to spend Thanksgiving with the family. And in that entire thing, Alex Golesh coached the game, won a game, and then headed for the plane. So it's crazy. I leave the Tampa Bay area for 8 days. The Buccaneers finally win a game. The Lightning look like the best team in hockey, and Alex Golesh is saying "War damn Eagle."
A lot of fun things that you had to focus on. When was this wedding? What day was it? Because this is a pretty big week, I would say, in college football, all things considered.
It was one of because I'm a baseball coach too. So one of my old players, Danny Gutcher, he got married, and actually in St. John, he got married on Monday. So I flew out Saturday to Puerto Rico, 17-hour layover. I stayed the night in Puerto Rico Saturday night. Sunday, went there. We were trying to yell at Jimmy Buffett. Not Jimmy Buffett. What's his name? Kenny Chesney. Kenny Chesney's got a place over there. So we're yelling, Kenny, come on down here. Come on down. And, he didn't come down, but he was hanging out wherever he lives over there. But yeah, the wedding was Monday, and then I flew back Tuesday to New York and spent the week with the fam. My flight got canceled yesterday in the city, so I had to spend an extra day on the island with the folks.
Oh, wow.
But it was good because I get to watch a lot of football and everything and kind of take in everything that's gone on with Golesh and Lane Kiffin and the full NFL slate. So got in at 9 o'clock today, getting ready for the podcast here in about 45 minutes, but really excited to hop on with you guys and talk about Alex Golesh.
And I thought we were busy
No,
this
I mean,
weekend.
seriously, his flight pattern is worse than what a head coach is, but people are tracking it right now because he's going to 16 different places. But you talked about Alec Golesh. I know that you did your podcast a couple of days or weeks ago talking about, what his future actually is. And I know that a lot of Auburn fans are looking at this going, okay, he was the offensive coordinator for Tennessee. He follows Josh Heupel from UCF to Tennessee, and now he's the head coach down at USF. He's only had really one tremendously good year as far as what USF is doing at being 9-3 this year. But for your time being around him and being around USF, what have you gotten to learn about Alex Golesh through that period of 3 years that he was in Tampa?
Yeah, it's been a very interesting process because you got to think about where it started at USF. We had Jeff Scott here, who was a longtime assistant with Dabo Sweeney there in Clemson, and he comes here, and everybody was all excited. And that South Florida team was one of the worst in college football. Mm-hmm. So it was really, you're starting from a low point. There really was only one way to go, and that was up. But he had to prove it. He really did. And with Alex Golesh, and you're going to hear this a lot. I was just actually listening to the video of him speaking to some of the Auburn players. He's very process driven. That's going to be his big thing about this entire process. And he wants to get to a point where the players are the people that dictate the standards. They're going to be the guys that are going to make sure. I'm going to give you a couple things. You're not going to hear this from many people. Sean Atkins was a guy last year that was a diminutive guy, slot receiver, ended up setting records at USF, and he's a walk-on. What a great story. And one of the things Sean Atkins told me last year, he goes, Jay, Coach Golesh told me that I needed to sleep better. Oh, wow. My sleeping patterns were all jacked up. I needed to prioritize me and my health to make sure that I got the most out of my body here as a walk-on wide receiver, again, who ended up setting records at USF. That's the kind of guy he is. He's very meticulous when it comes to the details. It's everything, guy. It isn't just football. He doesn't want the guys to walk with their head down on campus. He wants them to greet everybody. He wants them to be a big representative of not just the football program, but the university as a whole. And, he shared those same sentiments with the late, great Amir Abdur-Rahim, who we lost last year, the men's basketball coach at USF, after his incredible first season with the Bulls. And there was a lot of like-mindedness with those guys, understanding what you represent when you're a member of the athletic department. So I'm excited for my friends that are Auburn fans here in the Tampa Bay area and everybody that covers the Tigers. He's going to be sorely missed. It's an up-tempo offense. If he gets his quarterback like he got with Byron Brown, he can do some great things. Yeah. There's a lot of people that were upset with, some of his records in close games against ranked teams. But listen, I think you look at this year in year 3, and I don't know if many people thought they were going to win any games against Boise State, Florida, and Miami to start the year. For them to be able to win that game against Boise at home, and then to go into the swamp. And I know the Gators haven't had a great year, but you're talking about the first time this team has ever done that, to go to Gainesville and to beat the Gators. It's impressive. There's a lot of belief in him and his system, and I'm not surprised that this is the step he's taking, and I'm very intrigued to see how he's going to be able to do now in the SEC.
You mentioned about the culture and everything that he kind of had to change whenever he got to USF. What did he do to make it a point to make those changes in the culture?
It was just every single thing that these kids are going to do. And it's not just football. Like I just said with Sean Atkins, he's going to make sure that every single standard, and this is kind of a good point. So last year I went to Tuscaloosa. When are you going to go to Tuscaloosa? Right? Cover a football game. You live in Tampa. Yeah. USF plays Alabama. I'm like, I'm going. I don't care. I'm driving in the middle of the night. I'm going. And I just had an absolute blast. And listen, USF did a pretty good job in the 2 years that they played Alabama. A low-scoring game in Tampa a couple years ago, and Nick Saban's last foray to Tampa, and then the battle in Tuscaloosa, where you look at the final score, it was closer than what the final score. The Crimson Tide kind of ran away at the end of it. But him and we kind of went back and forth, and he's like, Jay, there's no such thing as silver linings. There's no moral victories. And I'm like, come on, coach. Like, you're trying to build a program here. He's like, that's not what the standard is. I don't want to have a standard where it's like, oh, great. Yeah, we battled against Alabama. I want to have a standard where we compete and we beat these teams. He's not happy to be bowl bound. This is something that, again, this was one of the worst teams in college football a couple years ago. He doesn't want to hear, oh, great, we're bowl bound. He's got such high aspirations. And I think that's why his mindset is going to translate, in my opinion, pretty damn well from USF to Auburn, because he's not just looking to be a participant in the Southeastern Conference. He wants to be amongst the elite and challenge not just for conference championships, but national championships as well.
No doubt about it. Jay Recher from the Jay Recher podcast on the Neighbors Wealth Management hotline with us, and you talk about him not wanting to just be bowl eligible. I mean, this team is very much bowl eligible, 9-3, the best record they've had since Golesh has taken over at USF. Is he going to be a part of this team moving forward, or is he already kind of made his way into the Plains and establishing himself there with all the players? Because I've also seen that he wants to bring a few of his staff members over to that Auburn squad as well.
Yeah, we already saw Andrew Warsaw, one of his chiefs of staff. He's going to be there. I just saw a bunch of the members of the coaching staff are going to be there. He's all in with Auburn. So there's already a interim coach that's going to be coaching USF in their bowl game. So the chapter of USF and Alex Golesh's life is behind him. And listen, this isn't really a surprise to many people. It wasn't a surprise to myself. And one thing that USF has done, the new CEO of athletics, we're going into new terms now in college football because of the NIL. You're not going to hear vice president of athletics or ADs anymore. You're going to hear things like CEOs and GMs. And the CEO of athletics, Rob Higgins, he's been very transparent and open and letting everybody know, hey, this is the way it's going to be. And we're in constant communication with Coach Golesh. So this certainly didn't take anybody by surprise. There was a report a couple of weeks ago about him possibly going and being the Arkansas head coach. We know the direction that they went in. There was ties because his wife is from Arkansas, but man, this is a really good opportunity for him to be able to go and see if he can ply his trade in what many people think is the best conference in college football. So, like I said, I'm intrigued to see if it's going to work. I know it's going to be super exciting. They run a hell of an offense, man. They run a ton of plays. This is one of the fastest offenses in college football. So at the very least, man, they're going to be entertaining on the offensive side of the ball.
I mean, heck, you made Joe Milton an actual NFL quarterback, which, I mean, seriously, let's be honest about that. And,
right.
And remember, the first 2 years at Tennessee, it was how quickly can they snap the football? How quickly can they do this? One thing, though, and this is where I've looked at it because I've had Auburn people look at me because I was very vocal about how much I disliked Hugh Freeze. And he doesn't look to have any connections to the Auburn program or any of the Auburn boosters or anything along those lines. But Auburn has a history of hiring yes men and people that will do whatever some of the boosters want. And everything that you have said so far about Alex seems to be the direct opposite of that. And so I wanted to ask you about that specifically because even if you have to rehash some of the things you've said, there's a lot of Auburn fans that go, okay, is this guy going to be just another puppet so that some of the boosters can continue to get their way?
Yeah, it's a great point. And for somebody like Alex Golesh, I think you look at where he's come from. This is a guy that came to this country from Russia, right? He's worked his way up. He was a high school coach. This is a guy that's been all over the country, scouting and recruiting, and just the way that he goes about it. Listen, the one thing that I want to make perfectly clear about Alex Golesh, and I've gotten a chance to not only interview him, but just kind of get to know him and to be able to talk to him. He's not all warm and fuzzy. He's like not one of those guys that's going to come in and he's not going to be, shaking hands and kissing babies. Like there's a business-like mentality for Alex Golesh that I think is going to really, win over a lot of fans. Listen, could it take some time? Yeah, I think it took a little time at USF as well. And I don't see him being one of those yes guys and looking at the boosters because to be completely transparent and honest with you, do I think Auburn's his last stop? I didn't think USF was his last stop. So do I think Auburn's his last stop? No. I mean, it could be somewhere else. Like, this is a guy that's just going out there every single day. He's going to say it a lot, process driven. And he's kind of in the position of, hey, if our process is right, the chips are going to fall where they are. And there's only one way that he knows to go about it. And that's making sure that everybody has a high standard. The guys are pros on the field and off the field. And I think he understands kind of the changing landscape in college football. I don't think he's going to be in a spot where he's going to look at boosters. I got to make this decision. I got to make that decision. Because I think he's one of those people where if you start listening to other people and becoming a yes man, I think time's going to run out eventually. And he knew that he had to establish something in USF that was never there before. We're not talking about a place that's won national championships. We're talking about a place that's never even been to a conference championship. And he needed to make sure that the standards, and he had former athletic director Michael Kelly, who's now at Navy. Hey, we got to do better. We got to make sure that this is better. You're putting more money. There's a stadium being built here in Tampa.
Yes.
They're going to be an on-campus stadium here in the 2027 season. And part of the reason why there's such an excitement and a lot of the boosters and a lot of the money was because of Alex Golesh and because of Michael Kelly. So he understands that like it takes everybody, but I don't see him being a guy that's going to make decisions just because a guy with money is going to tell him, because I think that's not who he is to his core.
Well, you mentioned something that I don't think any Auburn fan has really ever truly thought about, is the fact that this may not be Alex Golesh's last stop, that he could be coaching at Auburn and get another job, which means he's winning and he's doing everything that Auburn wants.
Yeah.
I'm sitting and thinking to myself, I actually cannot remember through Auburn's history them having to find a brand new head coach because a coach left Auburn to go to a bigger job. It has always been for firing.
It doesn't happen
Like, I'm
much.
genuinely wanting to
Right.
go back to like the 80s and 70s and 60s to try to think about this. And so we're talking about this with everything with Alex, and this is, what about, I know that you've talked about the offense, his recruiting style in this, because I know that he was the one that was heavily involved in bringing Nico to Tennessee. He's been able to get 4 and 5 star guys. And I know USF is different, but what type of players does he look for when it comes to getting them onto the campus and in the locker room that we could see over the next 20 days?
Before I get it, I just wanted to touch on kind of what you just said, if you don't mind. Think about this. Lane Kiffin left Ole Miss to go to LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Think about that. So is really anybody safe?
No.
That's kind of the ever-changing landscape with the transfer portals, the NILs, with these coaches. Yeah, I don't know if you could say the same thing probably about Ole Miss. Who would ever leave Ole Miss? That's got to be a job that people are looking like, oh my gosh, there's no professional sports teams. Why would you ever leave here? Hotty toddy.
It's all
And
them,
then here goes Lane Kiffin at LSU, right? So that's kind of the mindset for nothing surprises me in college football anymore. The one thing I love about Alex Golesh is that he is a guy that he wants to make sure, and you look at a couple of players, Byron Brown, the quarterback, and you look at on the defensive side of the ball, Mac Harris, you look at Jalen Shuler, and there's a young man by the name of Jarvis Lee. And this is one of the things that really stood out to me this year. If your listeners want to understand what Coach Golesh is all about, Jarvis Lee and his relationship with this young man, and don't be surprised. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he went with him, because I think he's arguably the best player on USF, maybe even on both sides of the ball. He's a cornerback. That's a phenomenal blitzer. He's a takeaway merchant. He's a beast. But a couple of weeks ago, I was talking about this on my show. Alex Golesh said when Jarvis Lee came to campus, he was silent. He was quiet, and he was angry at the world. And he just didn't understand what being a leader was about, being a football player. Now he's one of the most vocal guys on the team. He has really made this. He helped this kid mature to be a better person, right? So that's the kind of like where a guy may come in and may be rough around the edges, but Coach Golesh knows how to tap into those guys make them become a better version of themselves on and off the field. That's exciting. Somebody like myself who coaches too, that excites me, because it's not just, hey, let's take a great player, let's take a top recruit, and let's see if we can fit him into our system. If it doesn't, you just kind of discard him, kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater. This is a guy that looks for those gems sometimes where maybe they're a little bit rough around the edges. He could tap into that and bring a version out of these guys that maybe they didn't even think that they saw themselves. He's not afraid to play young guys. Look at some of the young receivers that Byron Brown was able to play this year. And I mentioned the Sean Atkins story before. There's no guy where it's like, oh, he only plays older guys. He only plays these kind of guys. He understands the transfer portal. He's the right guy right now when it comes to the ever-changing landscape of college football.
No, and that's what I wanted to hear right there. Jay Recher from the Jay Recher podcast on with us on the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline. Auburn's creed, it's all about, building up your fellow man, and not by doing that, the hard-nosed way where you're like, you're disciplining them nonstop. It's just building them, by connecting with them. And I think that is a huge point to go off of. And that's one thing I was a little bit upset whenever John Summerall, decided to take the job, or supposedly take the job.
Hasn't been finalized.
Over for the Florida Gators. But, if that comes into fruition, what do you see with the Gators moving forward? I know you've been following them a little bit as well. They're in the state, and, this is a big hire for the Gators, who have not had a lot of success. You got to go all the way back to 2009 to the last time they were living up to their standards. But how do you feel about their situation as well?
I really thought that they should have did everything possible to go get Lane Kiffin, and they bowed out and they kind of started looking at their other options. And, it's great, the Summerall. It's funny that you guys mentioned this because I'm looking at the stuff before and they're talking about Summerall and everybody puts out these things on social media. They have top 5 winning percentage, and it's almost like you have to sell these guys to the fan base.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm not a Gator, but I understand living here for 20 years, like State University of Florida. This is one of the most venerable programs in college football.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a national championship winning athletic program. Forget about just football. You're talking basketball. You're talking baseball. Like, there's primetime athletes. And we're getting John Summerall. Like, it's weird. Like, I hope it works out, but somebody who doesn't really have a dog in the fight, like, again, I didn't go to Gainesville, but how does this seem much different than the Billy Napier thing, right? It just seems like a little bit of a wash, rinse, repeat. I hope I'm wrong for my friends that are diehard Gator fans, but does he excite you as a Florida fan? Yeah, that's my thing. Does it excite you? Does it make you go, wow, I want to go get tickets. I want to go to the game. I think this guy's going to turn this thing around. Or do you lean more of this? Are we hoping? Because it's the hope that kills you guys.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It really does. And that's why I thought, man, if it wasn't Lane Kiffin, I thought Florida should have looked at Alex Golesh because he just beat you in your place. He's got an up-tempo offense. He might be able to bring Byron Brown. And the one thing that you're going to see with Alex Golesh that I love is that he's going to go into the Iron Bowl next year, and he's not going to look to compete with Alabama. He's going to look to beat Alabama.
Yeah.
That's why I look like if he would have went to Florida, no. I don't want to compete with Georgia. I want to beat Georgia. I want to beat Ole Miss. I want to beat LSU. End of the year, Florida State. I want to beat the Seminoles. Damn it, right? So that's that. I hope Summerall's that guy, but we shall see. Time will tell.
I know that you've got to get going here in just a second because you've got your own show. Real fast, non-USF related, because I saw this over the weekend, or I should say, I saw it last week. When did the whole deal start happening where the Rays got Tropicana Field fixed and they're going to play there this year? Because I totally missed this.
Yeah, this is like the $1 million question, right?
Yeah.
This whole thing with the storms and last year with the hurricanes. And it's ironic, too, because I was actually on air with BBC in Singapore last year doing a remote hit in the middle of the night when the top of Tropicana Field was coming off. So I pretty much announced it to the Eastern Hemisphere about what happened.
Nice.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of freaking wild.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it was a very weird year playing at Steinbrenner Field, the home of the Yankees. And it was just a weird. It was like, staying at your in-laws for an entire 12 months kind of thing.
Yes.
But, yeah, they've been working on this entire process. They were hoping that it was going to be done by December. And, yeah, all the 24 panels were put on. They're ready to roll. They should be ready for opening day. They've actually added another year on the lease because they were planning to be out by 27. Now they have to be out by 28, but we're still waiting. There were new owners looking for a new stadium. Is it going to be on the St. Pete side? Is it going to be on the Hillsborough side? A lot of people want it on the Hillsborough side because that's where the Bucks are at. That's where the Lightning are at. But you get a lot more money from the county and the city on the St. Pete side. You're not getting that from the Hillsborough side. So, yeah, man, it's just a ever-going saga for when it comes to Rays baseball. We're just enjoying the Lightning and the Bucks right now and then seeing what the heck is happening with USF in their search as we see who's going to replace Alex Golesh. But baseball back inside is I know a lot of people are happy about that because 97 degrees in the heat for baseball in the middle of July, fellas, not so great.
No, absolutely not. And I'm friends with CA Dub, Chris Adams Wall, as well as,
he's the man.
Enrique. I love Enrique on the Spanish side of it. His story is absolutely amazing. For people that don't know, he's a play-by-play guy on the Tampa's side, and he is blind. And he calls games.
Unbelievable. It's one of the greatest stories in sports that we don't really hear too much outside of the Tampa Bay area.
Yes.
The way that he's able to call a game and just the way he interacts with people, it's just Enrique Oliu he's one of the greatest stories in sports.
Yes, and he's an amazing person. He still sends me a happy birthday and everything just on my birthday.
So sweet.
Such a great guy.
Sweetest guy ever. Yes.
Absolutely. So say hello to them as well as Kyle Berger, man. And I deeply appreciate you hopping on. I know you got to get to your show, man. So thank you so much.
You got it, man. Kyle Berger, the best hair in the business. Anytime you guys see me, you let me know, man. Great catching up. Thank you.
All right, bro. We'll see you, man. That is Jay Recher right there of the Jay Recher podcast. And obviously you can tell he covers everything Tampa in this with between the Rays, the Lightning, the Bucks, USF. He does stuff with USF as well. He is an amazing person as well as an amazing worker as well.
Think he concerned a little bit of the Florida Gators fans out there by throwing out his John Summerall take?
You know,
I see where he's coming from, but at the same time, I don't know. 7-1 seasons as a head coach since he's been a head coach at Troy all the way to Tulane. It's pretty impressive, but how's he going to do at that next level?
So,
that's the most intriguing thing.
We wrap up with your phone calls next, and I did a little bit of research after Jay and us we were talking with him about the last time Auburn was having to do a coaching search because a head coach actually left Auburn.
Nice.
I'll have that for you when we come back in a fun John Abraham quiz game. We'll be back on the Blitz, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
I'll get the sounder ready.
Please do.
This is The Blitz with Joe Hunk and John Abraham. 256-576-4977.
This is the 2025 SEC Football Championship game.
And Alabama is headed to Atlanta again. Touchdown, Dr. SEC champion.
Join us Saturday as the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Georgia Bulldogs vie for the SEC Championship.
And we are moments away. And as you might imagine, the energy level is super high.
Kickoff is at 3 on your home for SEC football.
Your home of the Alabama Crimson Tide is 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com. Exceptional outcomes start with exceptional therapists, and that's what you'll find at Johnson & Hayes Physical Therapy. With 7 convenient locations across North Alabama, Johnson & Hayes offers expert care close to home. Our experienced clinicians specialize in everything from orthopedic and neurological rehab to TMJ, pelvic health, and lymphedema therapy. Johnson & Hayes is trusted by physicians and by patients across the region. Visit johnsonandhayes.com and see why outcomes matter at Johnson & Hayes. Eagle Masonry and Installation. It's right there in the name. Eagle is your one-stop shop for block, stone, or brickwork, monument signs, and outdoor kitchens and fireplaces. Eagle also offers the finest craftsmanship and insulation, including fiberglass or spray foam insulation, and of course, insulation removal. Philip Love and his team have years of experience, bringing the region the best in masonry and insulation services. For more information and a quote, visit insulatewitheagle.com or call 256-755-1556. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
I'm attorney Gary Lackey. I know your accident is the real thing, and they happen to real people.
I'm attorney Justin Lackey. There's a lot of talk right now about bigger, but when you've had a wreck, is bigger better?
I'm attorney Jennifer Lackey. Do you want to be just a case number?
With offices in Huntsville and Scottsboro, we take the time to help.
The Lackey Law Firm. The Lackey Law Family. 1-800-4-RIGHTS.
No representation is made that the quality of the legal services to be performed is greater than the quality of legal services performed by other lawyers.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Since 1983, Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate's Ann Adams has been your local go-to real estate expert in the area. As a buyer, you can trust Ann's in-depth knowledge of the local housing market to narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in, saving you time when shopping for a new home. When you're ready to sell, Ann's expert negotiation skills will ensure you get a fair price and hassle-free experience. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or email annadamsrise@gmail.com.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
There's power in caring when it is put into action. Each year, our bankers serve on nonprofit boards, support our local educators, and volunteer with our hometown food bank. I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryan Bank, and community service is just not a line item in our mission statement, it's who we are. Because after all, Alabama is our home too. That kind of commitment to community might not be what you would expect from a bank, but it's exactly what you can expect from us. Give us a call or stop by one of our 2 offices in the Huntsville area and experience unbeatable service and legendary results.
Bryan Bank Equal Housing Lender, NMLS ID 2428943, member FDIC.
Hold your block until the whistle blows.
From SEC Media Days to the National Championship Game.
This was a great team win.
We are 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Last segment, best segment, 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. We
Presented. But sorry, you were gonna go.
I was just gonna say we appreciate Jay Recher joining us
yeah,
after literally
good.
flying around the entire southeast coast
Very fun conversation
and
with
the
that
east coast, to be honest.
man. He knew exactly what he was getting himself into. He knew the assignment, and he rocked and rolled with us. But final segment always presented by Bobcat of Huntsville. For all of your equipment needs, whether you need tractors, mowers, excavators, or so much more, you can find them online, bobcathuntsville.com, or call them at 256-895-3311 and get that job dealt with today.
So watching more and more videos, I found another video of Alex Golesh doing an interview, and he basically said like Jim Tressel and what he learned from Jim Tressel. He's coached underneath Jim Tressel, Mike Gundy, Matt Campbell at Iowa State, as well as Josh Heupel, which we also saw. And, I mean, look, Matt Campbell, there have been times where Matt Campbell's been talked about for NFL jobs and also Power 5 jobs as far as that job that he has with Iowa State, but it was the buyout that was kind of keeping him there.
Yeah.
So this is the first time in a very, very long time that I am kind of excited about the Auburn offseason. I don't know what this feeling is.
Took you at least like 4 years, 3 years.
It's like SEC shorts, and that girl walks in with the sash. It's called Hope. I don't really know what that is. Don't give me that. Like we're talking about with the in Marvel. Just don't give me hope. Just please don't.
Yeah.
That is kind of what I have now. I said that we were going to have a fun John Abraham quiz game.
Do I play the sounder now?
Is this where we get to play a fun John Abraham quiz game? John Abraham.
Stop! Don't bastardize the theme song. I just sang.
John Abraham quiz game. John Abraham quiz game.
John
Abraham quiz game.
Yeah.
Whoa! It's a John Abraham quiz game. I can't wait to tell you guys my lack of Auburn history knowledge, but let's do it.
All right, so the question was, and this comes from the conversation that we had with Jay Recher, which you're going to be able to find on X, or I should say on our podcasting and everything after the show is over with, so you can go there and listen. He had a ton of amazing information about Alex Golesh. He has spent some time with Alex. He spent obviously a lot of time around USF, so he had a lot of information to give us about the type of coach that Alex Golesh is going to bring. And it's, again, unique. You had to fire Hugh Freeze to bring in a hurry-up, no-huddle offense. It's kind of crazy. But part of this discussion we had was he said, look, I knew that Alex Golesh's last stop was not going to be USF. And he goes, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know if Auburn will be his last stop because I could see him being successful there and then taking an even bigger job. The question is, When was the last time that Auburn had to have a coaching search because or not because they fired the head coach?
So I would keep it within the 2000s, and I would say like a guy like Gene Chizik, but I don't think, what happened to him? Because he went to a national title game, and I mean, he had this team pretty competitive for the like 3 years that he was there. He left. He didn't leave. He got let go, right?
Yeah, no, he was. Yeah, he got let go in this, and that was because he brought in Scott Loeffler. And after Gus Malzahn left to go to Arkansas State to be the head coach, Gus said, okay, this hurry up, no huddle offense has worked great for us and that we've recruited for the last 3 years. Now what I want to do is go the direct opposite. And I want to install a traditional pro style offense.
Okay.
And Auburn was absolutely garbage. All quarterbacks were scrambling quarterbacks. Like you did not have a pocket passer on the team. So he was then let go, and then Gus was brought back.
Yeah. And that went about as good as you'd expect. We have a minute. So Bobby Bowden or Terry Bowden.
When did we have Bobby Bowden?
Terry Bowden.
No, Terry Bowden was also asked to leave in the middle of the football season.
Pat Dye. We're just going back a little bit farther.
Was also let go because of the NCAA
We're going
stuff.
before both of us were born then.
Doug Barfield was also fired.
Who was it, Joe?
Coach Jordan retired in 1975. That was the last one that I can find that was 100% because he did not get fired. You can also go to Chet A. Wine.
What?
Back in 1932.
God, no, we're not going back there.
Left Auburn to become the athletic director and coach at Kentucky.
Well, that wasn't the case this time around. Either way, we'll talk to you guys tomorrow.
I love you.
Hi, this is Wes Neighbors. I'm here with Sam Fleming with Fleming Roofing and Restoration. Sam, tell the folks about Fleming Roofing and Restoration.
Hey, Wes, our company